From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast designed to empower women to discover and develop the leader within. I am so excited for this episode today because today we have a very special guest, and in fact, the first guest on this podcast, Allison Liddle, my friend, and so I'm so excited to have her on the show. Allison, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Rhea. This is truly an honor. I'm so excited to be able to chat with you and to have our listeners hear our conversation because this is great. It's going to be good.
Absolutely. What I'm excited about is that, you know, I'm passionate about leadership and leadership for women. And I believe that leadership starts with the choices that we make as an individual in order to influence others. And I know you had a new book just come out very recently, and it's your second book, right? Your most recent book that we'll really kind of focus on today, The Art of Imperfect Action, where you share how success comes from daring to begin. And I've read this book. I love it, and I love the fact that you're out there and speaking and encouraging and empowering leaders to take imperfect action. And in fact, I wrote it down. One of my favorite quotes from this book is you had by Mark Twain, and I wanted to share it. It says, continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. So tell us, what does imperfect action mean to you, and where was the inspiration for the book?
That's a great question. Imperfect action, it came to me because I started off my career and I was in this idea that I needed to do everything perfect. And I'm a recovering perfectionist, and yeah, right? Like, here we go. And so when I was doing this idea of stepping outside my comfort zone and trying something new, I realized that I needed to get rid of that perfectionism because nothing was going to be perfect. And it was holding me back from taking any sort of action. I kept giving myself excuses for why I couldn't do, be, or have what I wanted in my life. And as soon as I let go of everything needing to be perfect and I started to get to this point where it was good enough, not that I don't strive for excellence, because I absolutely do in everything that I do, but I needed to be able to stop and say, you know what, it's good enough for now, and I need to take action on this, and I need to get it out. And as soon as I did that, that's the imperfect action. And it's helped me build businesses, write books, and it's really helped me in developing other leaders because as I started to describe what this imperfect action looked like, people were like, I have that. I haven't been taking action in my life because I've been waiting for everything to be perfect, or I thought I needed to be perfect, and held me back from really truly being, you know, who I know I can be, because I thought that everything needed to be perfect. And it's just not true. None of us are perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. And I think that's where imperfect action came from.
I like that. Now, from your perspective, because I think I know a lot of women, and especially women leaders, feel pressured to be perfect and have that perfection, right? There's always that pressure that others are watching us and watching what we're doing. And so I know I sometimes struggle with, it's got to be excellent and perfect. And there's almost a fear of putting something out there if it's not ready to go, if it's not perfect. So tell me, from your perspective, how does taking imperfect action increase our influence as leaders?
As a leader, it is imperative that we take action despite not having all of the answers. And I had one statistic by one of my mentors who said, you're going to have maybe 40 to 60% of the actual picture of what you're going to accomplish. And you need to take action anyway. And so as leaders and in growing our influence, we can sit back and wait for everything to be perfect, or we can start taking action on it. And I think that in order to build anything, if you want to build a team, if you want to complete a project, if you want to help a client, really need to take action on that. And I think that's really a competitive advantage for any leader that's out there trying to have a bigger influence, is getting more done quicker and really taking imperfect action. It adds to momentum. It helps a leader build their credibility. It helps them influence others. A lot of times people will ask me, Allison, you're getting so many different things done. And the reason is because I surround myself with brilliant people that help me make things look excellent and make sure that things are done with excellence, but we get a lot done. And I think that that's really something that as leaders we need to think about, how we can start taking more imperfect action, getting more things done, not in the sense that you're stressing yourself out, but in the sense that you are following through on what you say you're going to get done and not giving yourself excuses to not get it done.
You bring up a good point. It's one of the things that I love to talk about, and my disclaimer is I'm the master at it. That's why I love to talk about it, is that I know I'm really good at creating excuses as to why I can't do something. I mean, I'm a master at it. Everything from, I can't start a podcast or write a book because of something, because there's not enough time or because I'm busy and I call it the victim mindset. We create the excuses that support our limiting beliefs. How have you overcome that in your life?
Rhea, I still struggle with this today. I mean, I think it's an ongoing struggle, especially for people that are trying to achieve a lot, right? I mean, there are excuses, and then there's also facts of life that come in. I mean, if you have a family or if you have other things going on, like some of the different priorities can pull at what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. So I think that there's always this balance in this kind of dance that you're trying to do in order to achieve things. And for me, for excuses, what I find works best is putting together a really clear plan of what I'm going to accomplish. And as soon as I have that plan on paper and with steps on what I'm going to accomplish and when I'm going to accomplish it and how I'm going to accomplish it and who I need to help me accomplish it, as soon as I'm able to create that, the excuse goes away, right? Like now it's not as much of an excuse. It's like, okay, no, I just need to look at my plan, and there's not an excuse for not getting it done because it's already on paper and it's already like there's already a structure around it. I think a lot of my excuses would come from things that I didn't have a structure around. So I create structure in my life around things that I know I normally would make excuses about. It might be, for me, it was working out. Working out is a really important part of my well-being and my self-care. And I thought, for a long time, I thought that if I didn't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get an hour in before everybody else woke up, then I was a failure. And so I started off every day thinking that I had to wake up at 5 a.m. And I realized that that's not the ideal time for me to work out. And I need to fit it in my schedule because my schedule is so crazy. So sometimes, just knowing that you're going to get the workout in each day. And sometimes an hour in, giving yourself those little cues of where, you typically would make an excuse and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm committed to myself to get this done. And as soon as I was able to do that, then I saw that things started to evolve quicker for me, and I was able to take that imperfect action. I was able to do the things I wanted to do and get the results I wanted to get.
Allison, you are a high achiever, and I know a little bit because I do get a chance to talk to you from time to time. Tell us a little bit. I know you have a business, obviously, as a speaker, and you're teaching leadership and training leadership even internationally, but you also play a couple of other roles. So tell us a little bit about the other roles in your life and how that's fitting all together.
Yeah. So I guess my first thing is I'm a wife to Tony, and then I am a mom to two little ones. I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, a little boy and a little girl. And I'm a sister and a daughter, and I'm a president of the financial firm that my husband and I own, and I'm also faculty on the John Maxwell team. So I do a couple things. It's fun. It's good.
You do, and
it's all good.
And every one of those is a full-time job. So tell me, do you believe women particularly struggle more with the pressure to be perfect in every dimension of our life, in every role? Like, do we struggle more with being the perfect wife and the mother? And how does that fit for you?
Oh. And that's, I was thinking about that when I saw that question. I was thinking I struggled with it for probably 15 years of not 15, maybe 10 years of my marriage. I struggled with that idea that I needed to be perfect at everything. And for that, I wouldn't ask anybody for help. And so I was so overwhelmed. I put all needed pressure on myself to get it all right. And to keep myself perfect and to look perfect and to be successful in my profession and to watch the kids, full time, do whatever I needed to do to be with the kids all the time. And just all of it. I was trying to do all of it. And as I'm talking to my friends who are women, who are high achievers, who want more in their lives, I see this over and over and over again. And it at my heartstrings, because I want the listeners to know that you don't have to do it all by yourself. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. I do not do all of this by myself. It might sound crazy, but I had to hire somebody to clean my house. I streamline everything in my life so that I have people that are out there doing it for me or helping me with it. And that's the only way I'm able to accomplish these things. If I didn't have people that were helping, if I didn't have a husband that, we do double duty. We trade things off. Like, you got the kids today, I got the kids today, we got the kids. Yeah, we're a team. And I think that has allowed me to do all the other stuff that I need to do. And so I think, a lot of times women think that they need to do everything. And I'm giving you permission to stop that thought process. And I just actually had this conversation yesterday with one of my friends. I said, what I want you to do is I want you to write down everything you're doing in your life. I mean, even like grocery shopping and going and doing laundry and anything, just write it all down and start thinking about, can I delegate this? Can I ditch this? Like, how can I restructure my life so I'm doing less, but I'm getting more results? I can spend my time and energy in that fill my soul with happiness, that are my strength zone, that make me who I need to be in order to have that impact I want to have. As soon as you can do that, you need to get things off your plate and you need to start asking for help. And I think as soon as you can do that, your level of success and how you're going to be able to influence people in your leadership skills it's going to skyrocket. It's amazing.
That's really important. And it sounds like you've really figured out a way to leverage your time and energy on those high value tasks. And so not worrying about, is the house perfectly clean, but can I delegate that to someone else, even if it may not be how I would clean it, but that's not the highest and best use of my time. And I love that, because I think where we do sometimes struggle is that when we feel pressure to be perfect, then we feel like we have to do everything because we know we can do it like we want. And yet that absolutely has held me back from time to time, and feeling that pressure. And you talk a little bit about your struggle and overcoming that sense of, or that struggle with, not taking action and feeling that pressure to be perfect. You talk about that a little bit in the book, and you share something that I really enjoyed or really appreciated was the failure to success equation, where you talk about, trying to do something and fail, learn, improve, and try again and try again and try again. And eventually we get towards success. And, it's one of the things that it seems like you've really found a way to do is, figuring out where maybe not every area in balance in your life, but in harmony. Is that where do you feel like you're more of a place of harmony? Okay.
Yeah. So and that's the thing too, is I feel like, for a long time, I felt like if I wasn't with my children 100% of the time, then I wasn't being a good mom. Or if I wasn't working in the office 100% of the time, that I wasn't being a good business person and growing my business. If I wasn't, I just had all of these really limited beliefs on how I needed to show up in the world. And as soon as I said, where did these even come from? Like, I don't even know where this lie that I'm telling myself came from, but it's not getting me where I want to go. As soon as I was able to throw those out and I actually wrote them all down. I don't know what book I read, but it said, like, to write down all the lies that you've been telling yourself about what you needed to, that's kind of like holding you back from moving forward. And I had this lie that if I, didn't keep the house perfect, then I wasn't a great wife. And if I didn't, hang out with my kids 100% of the time, that I wasn't a great mom, and all of the lies that I was telling myself. And I know it wasn't true, because if I'm happy and fulfilled and I take care of myself, that's going to translate into me being a better human being. It's going to help me be a better wife. It's going to help me be better in my businesses. And so really thinking about, what do I need in order to be the best me, and simplifying it. I got rid of so much stuff in my life from saying, no, that's not going to work for me. I can't go to that meeting, or I can't be on that committee. Those types of things just were eating up my time. I needed to be in control of my time. And as soon as I was able to kind of just get the confidence within myself to do that, it really helped me see what was really truly important and what impact I wanted to have.
I like that. In the book you talk about gaining self-confidence, and it's one that, there again, it just resonates with me, because I know I've certainly struggled with confidence as a leader, as a woman, just confidence in myself, and kind of that balance of that pressure, right? That confidence. I don't have to be everything to everyone. And I think the ability to say no requires us to have a good sense of our values and priorities, so that we can say no to things that aren't in line with it. But you had a really good exercise, or some thoughts for the reader to consider. Would you maybe share a little bit about that, like you talked about in the book, how you gain self-confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a short activity, and if you have a piece of paper out and a pen, that would be great. It's amazing how it works. So I'd encourage you to find a piece of paper so that you can follow along with me. And I want you to first take a deep breath in, and then let it all out. And close your eyes and just be here now. I want you to picture your best day ever. Today, you get to do that thing that you are so passionate about doing. You feel self-confident and strong. You're happy because you get to serve people that you just absolutely love to serve. Your hair is done. You have a nice new outfit on, and you feel really good about yourself. Now open up your eyes. I want you to write down the words that describe you in the best version of yourself. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, how do you feel? Write down any words that describe feel. Who are you serving? When you saw that picture in your mind, who are you serving? Where are you? What are you doing? Why does this make you feel excited? What are the things that what do you love? What do you despise? And what do you really, really, really want? I'd encourage you to write down the words that describe yourself in the best version of you. And I've done this activity with thousands of people, and it's amazing when they do this. There's some people that for some reason, and we all have different experiences in our life, and we all have different backgrounds, right? So depending on your background, there may be the chance that you can't see the good in you today for some reason, and it might be the phase in your life, and you might be dealing with some hard things, and I've been there, so I get it. And when that happens, when it's really difficult for you to find the words that describe you in your best version of yourself, what I ask you to do is find somebody in your life that loves you unconditionally, that's really kind and caring to you. And I'd like you to ask them, could you share some words to describe me and my best version? Like, what are my strengths and abilities? And write those down. Because we've all been there, right? We've all had hard times. We've all, and sometimes when our confidence is the lowest, that's when we need this the most. And it's really hard for us to find those good pieces because we're not looking at the good. We're experiencing bad all around us, and it's really hard to find those good pieces. And so I would say, look at those words that you wrote down. Evaluate the words. Are these positive words that are uplifting, that are going to encourage me to be the leader that I want to be, or not? And if they're not, don't judge. Don't get down on yourself. Just let them go and replace them with a word that's empowering to you. And then I encourage people to take that list and write "I am" in front of each of those words that describe you in your best version. And so it might be, I am empowered. I am a leader. I am strong. I am confident. I am amazing. I am enough, right? So whatever it looks like, and put it in, I have it in my bathroom, and I read it every single day, all the time, or in your office or wherever on your phone. I want you to look at that for 30 days and just start speaking what you want into your life, even if right now at this moment you are not feeling like you're that person. Even if you're not feeling like you're in your best version, there is something that happens that transforms us when we start telling ourselves what we want to be, right? And so put the time and effort into speaking those words into existence, and you'll feel better after 30 days, and your confidence, I'm sure, will definitely grow.
I love that. That's self-affirmations, because I think it's James Allen that says, in his book, As a Man Thinketh, that our mind is going to produce, and the thoughts that we think are going to determine what our mind produces. So I love that. I love that. Mm-hmm. Allison, thank you so much for just sharing with us today. Tell us, number one, how we can get your book, and number two, how anyone can get in touch with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rhea, for having me. I just appreciate you. I just need to say that really quickly, is that I absolutely love Rhea's story, and she has been one of the most amazing leaders in my life who's encouraged me and just been there for me. So I just thank you, Rhea, from the bottom of my heart, for who you are and how you bring yourself to this world. You are an amazing woman leader that is changing the world. So I appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yay. Yeah, absolutely. And you can buy my book on Amazon. It's called The Art of Imperfect Action by Allison Liddle. And you can check me out on social media. And my website is www.AllisonLiddle.com. And I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to just speak happiness and positivity into your life. I mean, I feel like that's the number one question I get asked is, where do I find positive people? And, and if you need somebody, email me, and I'll speak positivity into your life, and I'll encourage you to take that next step, whatever it looks like in your life, and just be the encourager, just like Rhea is, right? Like, Rhea's story is this encourager, and she is for me, and that's why I like to go and encourage other people. It's really something about us all coming together and being those people that can support each other, and Rhea's story is definitely that person for me. So I thank you, Rhea, for having me on your podcast.
Oh, thank you, Allison. You are very kind. We all need encouragement. Truett Cathy said, someone needs encouragement if they're breathing. And it's why I know you are, and I'm passionate about what we do, because the world needs more hope and encouragement. And there's so much negativity out there, and it's just, I kind of feel like you and I are, traveling a similar journey, and that we're just on a path to lift people up. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
It absolutely is.
Well, thank you, Allison. It's just been a pleasure to have you today, and thanks for sharing. You've shared with our listeners some really great nuggets about imperfect action and how that can help us increase our influence. And so I know you've added some value to me. I love the delegate or ditch it. That was something I wrote down that was just like, wow, I need to think about that and the things that I'm doing. So really good nugget there, delegate it or ditch it. really powerful. There are probably things I'm doing that I should either delegate or ditch, and definitely some time for reflection for me coming up on that list. So thank you, Allison, and my listeners. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.